As we move to the Chick-fil-A Bowl, Brad, we've got, of course, the interesting matchup that we get most bowl seasons where the best of the group of five takes on a power from the Power Five. And here we've got Auburn that lost 3 games, but certainly was viewed as one of the best teams in the country. Kerryon Johnson not being at full strength against Georgia may have factored heavily into that game. Central Florida played 2 of the most exciting games at the conclusion of this season when they knocked out South Florida. I took that one in gun to gun. It was amazing. And then they followed it up with 62-55 in double overtime against Memphis. Scott Frost, though, on the move. You never know how that's going to affect a particular team when there's a coaching transition. But Central Florida trying to make a name and complete an undefeated season against Auburn.
So I've been on the Knights bandwagon all season. The committee had them 12th in the final poll, which I think was just absurd. They're probably in the 8, 9, 10 range. You know, they don't have as many quality wins as some of these teams, but just the way they've won games. Most games have been blowouts. They beat Memphis by 3 touchdowns first, then outlast them in overtime here Saturday. America's only unbeaten team left. But man, they've got a really tough matchup against Auburn. You know, you have to think going into this game which Auburn team is going to show up. Is it going to be one that's motivated to win a New Year's Six game because they didn't win the SEC or make the playoff, or is it going to be one that just kind of goes through the motions against a team that wants a win over an SEC school? So, it sounds like Nebraska though is going to let Scott Frost coach in this football game, which I think is just kind of a weird situation. With early signing day coming up December 20th, and Frost really wanting to kind of lay the groundwork for that program in Lincoln. Just kind of odd that he would kind of request to, play out the stretch with UCF. If that was the case, why not take the Nebraska job way after bowl season? Lord knows Nebraska would have waited on him because that's their guy. But I think it'll be a good game at least for 2.5, maybe 3 quarters. But obviously SEC depth is nowhere near the AAC. And I think Auburn up front is going to probably have its way with UCF's O-line.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Brad, I've got to admire Scott Frost for sticking around. The natural inclination would be, okay, I can't be rewarded by these people that were my former employer anymore. So even though I love these kids and I would love to see it through, hey, we know the pressure on these coaches to get on the recruiting trail, to get the staff together, to be working 20 hours a day to knock this stuff out and then make inroads, especially when you're almost 90% of the time, I would say, taking over a program that's looking for a lift, as is Nebraska coming off a 4-win season. So putting that off to the side, certainly he's going to be working, I'm sure, to assemble a staff and working on recruiting while he's trying to game plan for the Auburn Tigers. But still, I like that Scott Frost is sticking around and completing things there in the 2016-17 season. That would be for his Central Florida team.